All right. Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Joshua Sentongo, and today I want to share with you what I learned from the AI Fundamentals course from Allison, the diploma course, and the diploma program, and how it connects to our team project. It's the music app that picks songs based on how you're feeling. Yes, the music therapy AI system, or you can call it the sentiment music chooser. So I'll show you how the AI concepts relate to what we have already studied about data mining, different types of human intelligence, and also the debates about how the AI can what the AI can actually do, the philosophical debates. So let's dive in and see how these ideas come together. So the history, the trends, and the future of AI. So AI has a long history. It dates way back to Leonardo's Da Vinci's time. So Leonardo sketched plans of a humanoid knight. This knight could move their limbs, but it was just a plan. He really never built the thing. Then Jacques de Vaucanson, he was a French inventor. He created the digesting duck. The duck could flap its wings autonomously. It could walk. It could digest seed. And then later, Alan Turing came up with his imitation game framework. It was a way of judging whether a computer can think based on other intelligent beings with the humans. So AI has really come a long way. So back then, scientists, as I've said, like Turing, created tests to see if machines could think. Now, in the 1980s, we had expert systems, but these expert systems followed symbolic rules. They were, pre-written. Then, in the 2000s, we came up with statistical learning that could find patterns in huge data sets. And then, right now, what we have is the machine learning as of 2010 and onwards. It is now people consider calling it the deep learning. So today we can see that AI tools are everywhere. Anyone can use them without being a computer expert in the field or a computer scientist for that matter. So we are seeing amazing progress in understanding human language. There's computer vision. Computers can now recognize pictures. They can recognize speech. And yes, as per the project that we are working on, it can also understand emotions. So let's see how this relates to our music therapy AI system. So the music AI system here is a perfect example of how AI has been evolving over time. So right now what we have is simple rule-based systems. Music is categorized based on genre, but now this AI system is aimed at matching emotions to patterns in music. So this mirrors what we have learned in data mining. We are moving from basic rules to finding complex patterns in music elements, music components. So our data uses some of Gartner's multiple intelligences, some of which include musical intelligence, because it understands music elements like rhythm, melody, tempo, beats per minute, that is tempo. So it also has interpersonal intelligence because it can mimic emotions, human emotions. So AI is a sophisticated tool that just recognizes patterns in emotional data rather than actually feeling or understanding emotions the way humans do. So this system is actually weak AI. It does not have genuine understanding of either music, music and its elements, or emotions. So in AI, we have to solve problems in order to get solutions. So problems require us to have information. Problems are also made up of majorly three components: where we start, that is the initial state, then where we are going, that is the final goal, the final state, and then the steps that take us there. Those are the operators. So think of it like directions. You need to know your starting point, then your destination, and then you can be able to take possible routes to connect your where you are to where you want to go. So AI picks the best route of all the possible routes. So our AI system, the music therapy AI system, is also straightforward. So we start with someone's initial feeling. If they are feeling stressed or sad, we want to end with them being feeling better. So we have to pick the right music. So it connects our data mining work, where we classify emotions like we classify any other data type. So it portrays logical mathematical thinking because it is able to map the right music to the user's current emotion, so that the end result is the listener or the patient feeling better. But one challenge is actually figuring out what information matters. Should you consider the time of the day, what the listener listened to yesterday? You know, the answer is that the AI system, it's just processing data. It really doesn't have this genuine understanding of the human emotions like a real therapist would. So when someone says that they are stressed, the AI system just searches the music database and suggests calming music, but it doesn't really know the right music to choose based on the user's current emotional state. So we can conclude and say that it lacks genuine understanding. Then we can solve problems in AI using search. So AI systems search for solutions, like you would search for something on the internet, surfing. So some methods are thorough, but they are slow. They just check everything systematically. It's like brute force. But others are smarter and faster. They use shortcuts. These shortcuts we call heuristics, heuristic functions. They focus on finding the most promising options first. So it is always a balance between finding the perfect answer and finding a good answer quickly. You want to be able to find an answer in the shortest time possible, because users do not want to have to wait 2 minutes or beyond to get the right music to suit their emotional state. So our AI system is smart, and it also will use shortcuts. Instead of checking every single song in the database, it will use emotional scores. It will focus mostly on the relevant songs first. It will connect the data mining studies where we group similar items together, like we group songs that uh, impose the same feeling in a user together, such that when it comes to searching, searching is easier and faster. Spatial thinking aspects are also portrayed, because as the AI traverses the database to find the right music, it's navigating through space. So, in a way, it is also portraying this spatial intelligence. But it is important to understand that it is just computational processing. It's not actually reasoning, it's more like a simulation. It has no genuine subjective understanding of human emotions or music for that matter. So, to solve problems, as I said, we need information, and this information must be represented as knowledge. So how to represent knowledge in the system? AI needs to store this knowledge. So think of it like creating a filing system. We need to be clear with the rules about what goes where and how different pieces of information will link together. So the challenge is making this system detailed enough to be useful, but also simple that computers can be able to use the knowledge and make connections between the music and the emotional state of the user. So this connects the project in such a way that the music AI system, will store the rules. Like if someone is sad and likes slow music, suggest upbeat music, suggest sad songs. So we take the patterns we found in the data, and then we turn them into simple rules. We shall use music knowledge to understand song characteristics and language skills to process emotional expressions. However, the reality is that the system actually follows programmed rules rather than truly grasping the emotional nature that humans have. So some aspects of how the music affects us emotionally are just too complex to be formalized in a way that the computer can be able to grasp it. So there is that philosophical question, that can it really be possible? Is it possible, yes, to formalize all the music and the emotions that humans are subjected to in a way a computer can understand? There is a limit to that. So the logic, first order logic inference. So the AI system makes logical connections like just like we do when we solve problems. If we know that rain makes the ground wet, then we can see that when we see wet ground, we can conclude and say that it rained. That is a deduction. So deduction is coming up with conclusions from theorems, and theorems are brought up from axioms. So AI does this with data. It takes what it knows about data and then it draws conclusions or makes decisions about the data. The music app will also do the same. It will work in the same way. If someone shows signs of anxiety and we know that they like upbeat music, that is the information we have stored about this person, then the system will conclude that it should recommend energetic songs. So it builds on the data or the knowledge that we have included into it, and then it uses classification results to make further predictions. So the logical thinking process here drives these connections. While it might look like the system understands the emotional connections, I should really say that philosophically, it actually is programmed to follow these steps. The system manipulates the data patterns rather than truly comprehending the relationship between the emotions and the music components or the music preferences that the user has. So, what about if we are reasoning under uncertainty? We do not have the complete knowledge of the system. So, life is messy. That's a fact. Life is uncertain. AI has to work with incomplete information always. Data is noisy. There are situations where we have multiple answers mapping to the same state. So, how do we handle such a situation? So, we have to make educated guesses. So, that is where probability comes in. Let's see how this relates to the AI system. So, the emotion recognition deals with uncertainty all the time. This AI music AI system will deal with this. When someone texts that I'm fine to the AI system, the system might actually be the person might actually be feeling maybe lonely, maybe they are content, maybe they are just sad, or maybe they are neutral. So the AI system has to assign probabilities to all these emotional states because emotions are a spectrum. Yes, you cannot conclude that a person has a single emotion. They could be 20% happy, 50% neutral, 30% sad. It's just a mixture of emotions. So this connects to our data mining work with probability based on classification methods. Our system processes these uncertain emotional signals from the natural language because the person texts to the AI about how they feel, and then the AI uses that to recognize what feeling they have and then produce the right data. And now it has to make educated guesses because emotions are just a spectrum. They are mixed. You can never really have a single emotion. So, planning. How does the system plan? AI planning is like creating a step-by-step recipe. You go step by step to reach a goal. When you're making an egg, you get a bowl, you break the eggs, you add in salt, you scramble the eggs, then you pour on a frying pan. So those are the steps you're taking to make an egg. So what actions it can take, the AI has to consider the actions it has to take, what conditions must be met before each action happens. So all this the AI considers beforehand. It's about finding the right sequence of actions to get to the desired result. So the music AI system, the music chooser here, it creates a playlist that take people on an emotional journey. So this is what it does. Maybe it will start with energetic songs, and then it moves to calming ones, and then it ends up to uplifting music. So we use our data mining knowledge to identify what song sequences work well for different emotion transitions. So if you actually notice, if you look at this, the system is more like it's making sequences of music choices just to be able to get the user to the end state, an enhanced mode. So the reality is that our AI system is following these patterns learned from the data about the perfect songs that it can play to the user. It doesn't actually understand that, I should say. it is just replicating, mimicking how a human therapist would behave when recommending music to heal a person. So when we head on to planning and decision making, we have utility theory, we have decision making, and when the AI system makes decisions, it weighs different options and their potential outcomes. Just like when you're deciding about different choices, AI considers the good, the benefits, and then maybe the disadvantages that could come from it, the risks, the benefits. It goes through all that and it tries to pick the option that gives the best overall result. So it plans and then it makes decisions as it goes about to choose the right song to play to the user. So our music system faces interesting choices. Should it play music that matches someone's current mood, or should it play uplifting music that might improve their mood? So we combine these pattern recognitions with prediction models to make these decisions. This would involve understanding the person's preferences. Some people like certain musics more than others. So some people have different situations. They have grown up from different environments. All this affects the person. So rather than making genuine decisions about emotional well-being, the system is following some program decision trees, and it's weighing some factors like, is this person 70% sad? Is it 30% happy? So that it's making this uncertain probabilistic decisions about the choices. So it's just sophisticated calculation. It's not genuine understanding. Philosophically, it is just recommending, but it is a simulation rather than genuine thinking, like a human therapist would. So finally, this brings us to the machine learning. So machine learning is how AI systems learn from examples. Just like you might learn to recognize your friend's handwriting, you see lots of samples, and then when you see a piece of paper written, you could be able to say, this is maybe Joshua's handwriting. Joshua wrote this. So AI also does the same. It is subjected to data for a long period of time, and then it is able to pick patterns from that data and learns. There is supervised learning, there is unsupervised learning. The AI supervised is labeled, unsupervised is unlabeled. So it is trying to find these hidden patterns and unsupervised learning without being told anything. It is learning on its own to find the hidden patterns. So our music AI system will learn from data sets that connect emotions with music preferences. So we shall use labeled data. This data is music and then the emotions it invokes in a human. So we shall also have a classification of music that is similar to each other, so that we cluster things together that are common. We categorize so that searching becomes simpler. So the system recognizes patterns in emotional language, but then it analyzes audio features of songs, the components that make up music, as I've already said, the tempo, the rhythm, the beats per minute, and all that. So the AI system, we can conclude and say that it is the perfect pattern matching. It's a sophisticated pattern matching machine. It is statistical. It doesn't have genuine emotions. So this takes us to the end of this video. This is the certificate that I obtained from the Allison site, the diploma for the foundations. So thank you very much and have a great time. See you. All right.